just influence. But I don't want to talk to everybody. Like, I'm afraid to put myself out there because then they're all going to DM me, and I don't want to. I don't want
How much do you enjoy playing God? I'm just curious.
to.
You heard that right. During one of my group training calls where I'm teaching people how to grow their business authentically using their strengths, we had a Q&A session where somebody, a very talented network marketer, shared a really intense fear. This fear keeps her from wanting to have any of her videos or marketing go viral. Can you imagine that? Being afraid of having your content go viral. I want you to watch how I handled it. A fear of success is a very real thing. In this video, you're going to get a great perspective, great style of coaching on helping people overcome their blocks, and a great tip.
And I'm starting to get my head around the fact that, like, I've always just really pushed against this idea of influencing as an integral part of my business. I'm like, no, I don't want to be an influencer. I was always really clear, like, a direct marketing business ends up being me as the brand. I understand that. But being an influencer and taking that to the social media streets, I was always like, no, I don't want to do that. But because of strengths, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is my strength. I need to just influence. But I don't want to talk to everybody. Like, I'm afraid to put myself out there because then they're all going to DM me, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's some stories there. Is it okay if I try to understand one of your stories?
Yeah, go for it.
I want you to imagine putting out 5 posts a month and all 5 of them get 800 to 1,000 comments. Why? What's the de-energizing, draining story there?
Just not taking care of people. Wasted efforts, wasted opportunities. I think the kind of business that I'm in, because I'm in a health related field, they're not trying to get their money solved or trying to book a trip. They're trying to handle their health.
Yeah.
And so if they raise their hand and they say, hey, I'm hurting, or my kid can't sleep, or I simply have a headache, or I'm dying, and I don't see them, or they don't, like, it's really, really important to me that everyone gets seen and taken care of.
Okay.
And if that doesn't happen, I feel sad about that.
I see. So I don't want 800 comments. I don't want my videos to go viral, because if they do,
I really don't.
yeah, I don't want my videos to go viral.
But also, I'm like, what if that one person, what if it's 800 comments or a video goes viral or something, and I only get to talk to one person, but that's the one person I needed to talk to. On the other hand, my logical brain can go, well, of course, you got to do the video. If I could teach somebody what I have learned, and that only helps one person, and 799 of them don't get any response from me at all, but I help that one person, I don't know if, of course I have to do it, but yeah, it's de-energizing to me to think of all the time, that much volume.
Yeah, people who need help, people who need help, who in your mind aren't getting help.
Yeah.
So tell me, how much do you enjoy playing God? I'm just curious. How much fun is this?
Well, I don't like that. That's exhausting.
I'm noticing.
So how do I flip that around then, if it's none of my business?
Well, let's not think about the solution just yet.
Okay.
I want to ask you, why do you want to be God here?
Well, tell me
why
why
you want to take on that responsibility.
Help me understand why you went straight. That's
you said that if there's a comment in there that I'm not responding to, that's someone that's not getting help. You said specifically those words. They need help and they're not getting helped.
Yeah. Well, they're not getting helped by me. So they're just hanging out there and they have to go look someplace else. I don't want them to suffer longer than they have to.
So they're going to suffer longer than they have to if I don't respond to them. Do you understand that's what you're saying?
They raised their hand here and
there's solutions here, but I want you to understand what you're really talking about.
Okay. I'm trying.
I have solutions. I have tips.
That feels a little more, that feels more dramatic than I see it.
That's what I'm just sharing with you what I'm hearing. So help me understand what it actually is. I don't want my video to get 800 comments because.
Because I don't feel like I have a good system for parsing those out. I don't know. I'm probably making it too hard, I'm sure, right?
Well, I think that's better. I think what you just said was much better.
Yeah,
I don't have a system.
I don't. I mean, I have boards and but like it is so what you keep using that word,
De-energizing.
energizing.
Yeah.
I think that's a great word.
Yeah.
It does not make me happy to sit in front of my phone, to be doing this number or being on my computer.
Yeah.
I know what that takes to
Yeah.
I have done it. And, so yes, boards and yes, this and copy and paste. I'm really good at building systems, but then executing the systems, I'm like, just no, now I got myself a job.
Okay. Now we're getting clarity.
Yeah. Now
All right. So
I'm trying to build an asset, a business, a help, a way where people are empowered to help themselves. And if they're just coming to me and I'm the source of all of their strength, it's actually the opposite. That now I know why I was bristling when you called me God. I was like, whoa, no. I bristle. That is the opposite of what I'm trying to create. I do not want to be their God. I do not want to be even the source of their information in terms of like I do essential oils, crystal oils. Should I use for this? I'm like, I don't know. Let's look it up in the app. I know the answer. But I'm not going to tell them that because I'm like, I need you to understand. You look it up in the app. You look it up in the book.
Yeah. So if I had a system, where they can be empowered to do the work for themselves, then I would feel.
Then I would shout that from the rooftops.
Okay.
I would do that. I would be like,
I
you
would
start here,
love-
and then you go here, and then you go here. And if I'm confident they'll really do it, then I would be unstoppable. Now I understand, like you can give people the tools and they may or may not do it. I would probably still shout it from the rooftops. But if the system is so good that if they really want it and all they have to do is follow through and they're going to get the result, oh yeah, I'd go nuts.
Raise your hand, everybody, if you all want this too. Raise your hand, please. Okay. That's why I'm so glad you talked, because right now all your feedback, all the things you're saying, everybody's resonating with. So first, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being very vulnerable and allowing me to ask questions. And understand when I'm asking questions, I'm not questioning you, I'm learning from you.
I understand.
Okay. So I really want to express gratitude for you being this honest, because now I know exactly what you want. You want a video to go viral with 800 to 1,000 comments that leads people to a system that will help them empower themselves and get results where they get to say, hey, I did the thing, I downloaded the thing, I used the thing, and it worked. Thank you, Krista. You have changed my life.
Yeah, that would be great. But I'm just laughing like Rhonda's cracking me up.
But do you understand now? It's not about I don't want a video to go viral. It's this thing that you think it's going to bring. And so now we have got what? We have got an action item. Now we have an action item that involves you to do more videos. Number one, that's a good thing. And number two, now we get to discover what is the customer journey that I can automate.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So let's get up some videos.
Connecting the dots, the customer journey, while also building inside of a relationship-centric business model that my mind is still blown about how to connect those dots. I come from corporate world and finance, and I still have just never bridged the gap in this health-related field that I feel called to. I'm not going anywhere, but I am not having anywhere near the impact that I want to have. Because I'm like, how do we connect all the dots? Because ultimately it has to end up in a true, deep relationship so that others want to carry the message forward as well. Like it's all those things. It's a disconnect to me still.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go over. Well, okay. So just so you know, Krista, I have covered this.
Because
I
I
have
was
spec-
absent.
I have specifically covered this today, but I'm going to remind you so you understand why I'm telling you I covered this, and then we're going to end this on this one.
Right.
So you put up a video that says, hey, look, if you've got this problem, I want to meet with you because my goal is to create a system and a process that I can help as many people as possible without me having to give up all my time or my heart. Right? So
Yeah.
you meet with people one-on-one and you ask them the questions. You find out what is it that they need and that you can deliver in order for them to get the result. And then once you start to nail that, you now have an automated process that you can offer to people for free or as a bonus or whatever. Maybe that's the product you sell.
I did hear you say, you do it one-to-one because that's what I heard you say was you do this one-on-one, you do this one at a time until the system becomes apparent and then you can automate. I heard that.
Yes. And it's really hard to do this from just guessing. When we meet with 5 to 10 people, every time we meet them, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the automation. We're not meeting with them because that's our life. For the rest of our life, we're going to meet with people. We're meeting with people so we can automate it. I'm going to give you an example so you understand. When I first met with people, I would train people on strengths. And the only way I could help them understand their strengths was if they met with me. That was it. And then it wasn't until after I met with hundreds. Okay, for me, I'm a lot slower than you. I think you're way sharper. You could probably figure this out faster. But it took me meeting hundreds of people one-on-one before I started to see a pattern. And then when I started to see the pattern, then I have to test the pattern. And then when I test the pattern, I see it wasn't right. Like when I said people of 3 or more relationship building strengths have to connect with the right people. It used to be connect with people. And then I realized those darn relators say, well, I don't like to connect with people. I go, oh, you want to connect with the right people. And that's when it had to be modified. I got that after meeting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, probably thousands to be honest. And then I started to test that out and everyone's like, yep, that's me. And I'm like, boom, I now have my automated process. You look at your top 10, you see the ones you have 3 or more of in the top 10, and you say to yourself, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to connect with the right people. Boom, I have an automated process that I turned into a freaking book. And it took a very long time. I didn't wake up one day and go, I'm going to teach this automated process. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was meeting with people for free. Literally, I wasn't even charging for coaching because I just needed to know what the heck is in your way of knowing your strengths, right? And so that's the story I want to share with you. This is the journey you get to go on. I did hundreds and hundreds of one-on-ones so that I can now automate someone understanding their strengths with a book. Okay, Kristen, hopefully I can inspire you here. So
I'm inspired. I needed to hear that, like, you have to do it one-to-one. It's a slow down to speed up model. I've taught this over and over. I just wasn't like,
we forget, right? We forget to apply our own rules to ourselves.
Yeah, no, it's, you gotta slow down to speed up. And I just kept seeing myself as in this job of feeding the beast. Like if I wanted to be a journalist, I would have been a journalist. I don't want to feed the beast every day. That just makes me crazy. But if I'm doing it to get volume, to drop people into a system, which isn't created yet because I have to do the one-to-one thing until the system becomes apparent, because it probably is going to look nothing like what I think it's going to look like, because that's how
I can guarantee that. Yeah.
No, that's incredible. Very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, y'all. Was this helpful tonight? Yes. And okay, so hopefully you all learned a couple of things, right? Not just like what awesome revelations that Krista got, but I also hopefully you all paying attention to how I do this, how I support people in finding their strengths. And I want you all to pay attention to how curious I got when Krista was sharing some really powerful blocks. And I want you to really watch this recording if you need to. Look at the questions. Listen to the questions I asked. This is the process that I'm working so hard to duplicate. So we've got this certification course that I do twice a year that I might do 3 times a year. Who knows when we get there. But when I can, if I could teach the teacher, train the trainer to do what I just did to support this amazing human being right here, to be free to share what's amazing about them with the world, then how wonderful that will be.